perfect family. His POV, everyone called us the perfect family. The white picket fence, the quiet Sunday dinners, the woman who smiled at my side. They had no idea what went on behind the curtains. They didn't hear her scream when I first brought her here, bruised and shaking, her wrists raw from the rope. They didn't see the blood on the bathroom tiles. They didn't watch me force feed her when she refused to eat for the third day in a row. She was a wild thing, a stray cat that clawed at everything good. And I was the man who had to tame her, because I loved her, even if she hated me for it. "Open your mouth," I said, gently pushing the spoon against her lips. She glared at me. Red rings circled her eyes, her lower lip split open. She was still beautiful like this, even more so maybe. "You'll starve yourself trying to prove a point, Angel, and I'll just keep you here longer." She slapped the spoon away. It hit the wall with a wet clatter. I sighed, then reached for her chin, gripping it hard enough to bruise. "You want to die in this room? Fine. But not on my conscience." She looked like she wanted to kill me. I could feel it. But I also knew part of her wanted me to come closer. She was becoming softer. At night, she didn't fight as hard. She trembled under my hands, but she stayed. She whimpered when I kissed her neck, but her lips parted. I could make her forget. I could rewire her. Love isn't gentle. It's war. And I was winning. "You belong here," I whispered into her hair as I lay beside her. "This world, it was built for us." She said nothing, but she didn't pull away.
Her POV Eve. They thought I was lucky. Married to Asher Devane. Perfect smile, perfect career, perfect house. But no one saw what he did to me when the cameras were off. He stole me, broke me, tied me to a bed and whispered that I was his. I tried to fight at first, bit his arm so hard he bled, scratched his face until I saw panic flicker behind his perfect mask. But he never gave up. Not on me, not on the twisted dream of his perfect family. He started calling me his wife. He started making me wear white. Now I sit at the dinner table while he holds my hand like we're in love. The neighbors wave. I smile with dead eyes. Inside I scream, but outside I'm silent because no one would ever believe me, not when he smiles like that. And God help me. Sometimes when he touches me gently, when he holds me like I'm the only thing keeping him alive, I forget that I'm supposed to hate him. Her POV Eve. I dream of escaping, of running barefoot through the woods behind the house, of clawing at the walls until my nails break. But I also dream of him, of his lips on mine, of the way he cries when he thinks I'm asleep, whispering apologies into my shoulder, of the night he brought me a piano because I said I missed music. He is a monster, but he is my monster now. Her POV Eve. I tried not to fall in love with my captor, tried not to find softness in his brutality, but love doesn't arrive like a gentle guest. It claws its way through your ribs, burrows into your chest, and dares you to breathe. The first time I saw Asher bleed, I wasn't scared. I was angry, because he was supposed to be unbreakable, untouchable. "You are hurt," I whispered, my hand still chained to the radiator. He laughed, bloody teeth and all. "You care now, Eve?" "No," I lied. He dropped to his knees in front of me. Blood dripped onto the wooden floor. He leaned his head into my lap, arms trembling, and in that moment, I hated him less. The night he kissed me for real, no chains, no threats. I let him. I could have said no. I could have pushed him away, but I didn't. He touched my face like I was holy, like he hadn't starved me, hurt me, broken me down to dust. His lips brushed mine, warm and trembling. "Tell me to stop," he whispered. I opened my mouth, but the word never came.
She cried for me. Not for herself. Not because I hit her or starved her or stripped her soul raw. She cried when she thought I might die. That's when I knew she was changing. That I was winning her in the slow, careful way you win wild things, with patience, violence, and a love that terrifies. I started letting her out of the room more, unshackled her wrists during the day. Watched her roam the house barefoot, eyes glassy, steps quiet. She didn't run. And even if she did, she'd always come back. She was mine, down to her very marrow. She kissed me back, and I almost wept. She could have spit in my mouth, scratched my face open again, but she chose me. Even after everything. "Does this mean you love me?" I asked, half joking. She pulled away, tears in her eyes. "No, but it means I'm too tired to hate you." "Good. That's how it always begins."
The first time we slept together, he lit candles. Soft music played from an old record player. He unbuttoned my dress slowly, like he wasn't the same man who had once ripped it off in a rage. "Let me pretend," he murmured into my throat. "Let me pretend we're in love." I let him pretend. I pretended too. but something about the way he held me afterward, face buried in my neck, whispering how perfect I was, made me wonder, what if we weren't pretending anymore? The bruises faded, the fear dulled, and in its place something else grew. Not quite love, not quite freedom, but dependence. He broke me, then built me again, into the woman he wanted, into a wife he could show the world, and I became her. People whispered, "They're such a beautiful couple." No one saw the scar on my collarbone from the night I tried to run. No one noticed the way my fingers trembled when he kissed my forehead in public. God, he loved me. And now, I love him back.
His Pav, I didn't go to work. I parked down the street and waited. I watched the house like a predator stalks its prey, holding my breath every time the curtains twitched or the door creaked. Would she run? Would she try to use the phone I left on the counter? Call the police? Break the spell? No. She walked right past the knives. She stared at the door. But she didn't move. I saw her through the window when she curled up in my bed. She missed me. She just didn't know it yet.
Sure. The sound of the front door closing made the whole house feel different, empty, still. Asher had gone to work. It was the first time he'd trusted me alone without locks, chains, or cameras glaring down at me from every corner. "Don't do anything stupid," he'd murmured before leaving, kissing my forehead like a husband would. "I'll know if you try to run." I didn't answer. I just stood there in his old sweatshirt, barefoot, and watched him drive away. Then, silence. I stood in the kitchen, staring at the knives. He left them out. On purpose? A test? I walked past them. I opened the curtains. Sunlight poured in like something foreign, almost burning. I hadn't seen daylight in weeks, maybe longer. Time blurred in this place. My fingers shook as I touched the doorknob. It wasn't locked. My heart thundered in my chest. One twist, and I could be gone. Out. Free. Away from Hernet. Instead, I walked into the bedroom and crawled into his side of the bed. The sheets still smelled like him. Cedarwood, smoke, control. I pulled the pillow to my chest and held it like it was him, and I hated myself for it. By the time I heard the garage open, it was dark out. I didn't move, didn't run. I just sat on the bed, waiting. He entered quietly, like he didn't want to scare me, like he was the good guy. He found me in the dark. "You didn't leave," he said soft, closing the door behind him. "No." "Why?" I stared at him, at the man who ruined me. At the man who fed me pain, then bandaged it up like he cared, because I didn't want to. He smiled like a man starved for sun. And then he kissed me. Hard, possessive, grateful, like he'd just won something sacred. He kissed me like I had just passed his test. Asher's fingers slid into my hair, holding me still while his mouth claimed mine. I didn't resist. I didn't fight. Maybe I should have. But instead, I melted. His mouth moved lower, trailing down my neck like he was tasting the freedom I didn't take. Like that was more intimate than any moan, any whimper, any word I could give him. "You stayed," he whispered against my skin. "Yes." His voice darkened, rough. "Why, Eve?" "I don't know," I said. But maybe I did. Maybe I was broken now, bent into a shape that only fit inside his arms. His hands were rough, but careful now. He touched me like I was breakable, like he regretted the bruises, the cold floors, the gag he once shoved in my mouth. I shouldn't have let him in. Not again. Not like this. But when he slipped his fingers into me, when he murmured how warm I was, how perfect, I closed my eyes and moaned softly into his throat. He rocked against me, slow and deep, like he was trying to fix what he'd shattered. "I don't deserve you," he whispered hoarsely. "You don't," I said, but I still pulled him closer.
His Pav, she clung to me like I was air, like the only place she existed now was in my arms. It wasn't just about sex, it never was. It was about owning her, mind, body, soul. When she came apart in my arms, shivering and gasping my name, I whispered, "You are mine now." And she didn't say no. We lay there, tangled, quiet, her head on my chest, fingers tracing the scars on my ribs. "You lied," she said softly. "You said you went to work." "I watched you," I admitted. She didn't flinch. "I know. You didn't run. I didn't want to." I turned to face her fully. "I love you," I told her. And for the first time, she whispered it back. "I think I love you too."
It was hidden under the floorboard. I found it by accident while cleaning the closet, his closet. The floor creaked strange in one spot, different from the others. I lifted the old boards, expecting maybe an envelope of money. Instead, I found a leather-bound journal. Worn, scarred, and hers. Anna. The name was written inside the cover in a curling, delicate hand, not mine. March 3rd. He says he loves me, but love doesn't come with chains. He watches me sleep. He says I'm his forever. I don't think I'll ever leave this place alive. March 17th. I tried to run. He broke my wrist this time. I think he cried afterward. He kissed it and told me I forced his hand. I don't know who I am anymore. I don't know what I feel. Maybe I love him. Maybe I'm sick too. April 1st, I heard him whisper a name in his sleep. Not mine. Eve. I dropped the journal. My blood ran cold. Anna. Another woman, another prisoner, another version of me. And worse, he knew my name before I even met him. He was waiting for me. He loved me before he even met me. He killed for me before he knew me. I stood in front of the mirror that night and stared at my own face like it didn't belong to me. Was I real? Or just another girl in his sick cycle? And why did I still feel something for him? I wanted to hate him, but part of me wondered, what happened to Anna? Where was she now? And if I asked him, would he lie? Or would he finally show me what he buried beneath this perfect house?
His Pav. She didn't speak to me that night. She cooked dinner, washed the dishes, even kissed my cheek. But her eyes were distant. Like she wasn't really here, like she'd seen a ghost. I knew she found Anna's journal, but I let her think I didn't. Let her pretend she could hold this secret like I hadn't planned every crack in this house, every floorboard, every lie. 'Cause what she didn't know was that Anna was a shadow. And Eve was the real one. The one I'd been building my perfect world for. The one I named in my sleep. The one I dreamed about when I had to bury Anna in the woods.